Okay, the internet is going crazy about this phone, but is it really that good? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the new Moto Edge 50 Fusion, and while I did make a reel and a YouTube short on it, a lot of you requested me to make a full format YouTube video on this, reviewing it, telling you guys about my usage and whether this phone is worth it or not. So well, I thought let's go ahead and do a deep dive into this phone. This is a budget phone priced around the 25k segment, and a lot of people seem to like it, and there are a few bad things about this phone that I would like to highlight to let you guys know whether it's a worthy purchase or not. So welcome to this review. Make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe to the channel, press on the bell icon so you don't miss any other update, and let's talk about the Moto Edge 50 Fusion. Firstly, as always, let's talk about the design, and Moto has really hit it out of the ballpark this time, guys. The Edge 50 Fusion looks beautiful, improving on the design of the Edge 50 Pro, which I already thought looked really good. This is the marshmallow blue color, which is more white than blue, but yeah, they've got this really soft touch vegan leather feel on the back, and it looks very nice, and it also gives you a very nice grip once you hold the phone. Turn it around and you've got a beautiful curved display. This is a 6.7-inch POLED display, which is also 144 Hz in terms of refresh rate. It is super smooth, and it feels really nice to use on a day-to-day basis. Very good job done by Moto on the overall design and the feel of this phone. Definitely feels more like a 30,000-40,000 phone instead of a 20 to 25k phone that this phone is priced at. Another flagship feature that Motorola has brought to the Edge 50 Fusion is a very nice IP68 rating, which is a flagship rating for dust and water protection, and it also has a smart water touch feature, which basically means if you accidentally end up splashing some water on your screen, you'll still be able to use the phone's touchscreen normally, and it won't go crazy like it does with some other phones. So this is a handy feature that might come handy once or twice in a particular situation, but yeah, it's still worth mentioning, and I did so. Okay, let's talk about the processor of this phone, because this is where I have a few reservations. So this phone is very nicely priced in terms of the value that it brings, other than the power, I feel like. So the Moto Edge 50 Fusion actually comes with the Snapdragon 7S Gen 2. While this is an okay processor, I guess you could say there's nothing really crazy about it in terms of performance, but I feel like there are better phones out there that give you more bang for your buck in terms of pure processing power and gaming or multitasking performance. In a lower price point, we have phones in the market like the iQOO Z9X, which comes with the 7200 Dimensity processor, and the newly launched OnePlus Nord CE4, which comes with the Snapdragon 7 Gen 3, and both of these processors score way higher on the Antutu benchmark and overall are better performance oriented processors in this price point or even a price point lower, as I told you guys. So it doesn't really make sense for Moto to come here with a 25,000 phone that goes as high as 30,000 if you decide to spec it up, and still give you very basic mid-range performance. So something to think about. If performance is a very big priority for you, I would look elsewhere. A lot of people I know must be typing furiously right now that you can't really compare a budget iQOO phone with this Moto phone, because Moto's software and Hello UI is much more refined and premium, and you are right. But I can say that about iQOO, but I feel like OnePlus's Oxygen OS right now is still pretty refined. It doesn't have the bloatware or those kind of weird ads. So the valid argument is okay for iQOO, but what about OnePlus? Something to think about. I agree that the software on this phone is very nice, but that is no excuse for giving a less than powerful processor in this price point. Coming to software, as we were discussing about it, yes, Moto's Hello UI is always a pleasure to use, combined with new features from Moto with the best of stock Android. This has to be one of my favorite skins on Android on any smartphone. I really like Moto's exclusive features like their family spaces, as well as Moto Secure and Moto Unplug, and of course, because it's a Motorola phone, we've got amazing gestures that lets you turn on your flashlight like that with just a shake, and much more that you can configure in the settings, by the way. A really well executed phone software-wise. And in terms of updates, Moto promises 3 years of Android upgrades and 4 years of security updates. But Motorola once again needs to work hard, because we all know they are infamous for delaying the software updates. So announcing updates is one thing, delivering on them is something else altogether. Something to keep in mind if you plan on buying this phone. Let's talk about charging and speakers. This phone comes with a 5000 mAh battery, pretty good battery life, not gonna lie, and a 68-watt charging brick in the box that gives us very nice fast charging. Around 25 to 30 minutes for this phone to completely juice up to 100%. Very handy indeed. And in terms of speakers, it comes with the Dolby Atmos logo at the top, so you know they have partnered with Dolby. Stereo speakers are pretty good. I wouldn't say the loudest I have heard. That still goes to the iPhone and the Samsungs, but it is still pretty good for this price point. Let's come to the camera. Motorola really did a number on the marketing material for this phone when they said it comes with the segment's best camera with the Lightia 700C sensor from Sony, which is a new sensor. Camera performance, I would say, is well, absolutely average. The samples are on the screen right now. This is a 50 megapixel Lightia 700C sensor, which gives you OIS, and you also get another 13 megapixel ultra wide and a 32 megapixel front facing camera. I would say that the camera samples on this phone are absolutely average. Moto's weakest link still happens to be the cameras on most of their phones, really. And even in the Edge 50 Pro, which also had a telephoto, and the Edge 50 Ultra, which I'm still yet to try out, but I will definitely let you guys know about it. I feel like Moto just needs to improve on the camera, and then they will be the best all-around phones in sale in India right now. Videos are not even average, I would say. They are below average, and they are just extremely basic, bare bones. You cannot record in 4K on the front camera. Front camera video sample from the Moto Edge 50 Fusion. The sky behind me is a little overexposed, as you can see, and skin tones are also extremely softened, so there is an overall lack of detail, and yeah, I mean, it's completely average. Maybe in this segment this is the best because all other phones are also like that, but that's not really something to market about. Okay, so what's the conclusion? Should you buy this phone under 25k or under 23,000 with offers, etc.? Well, this is definitely a very good option from Moto for anybody who wants a good premium feel with a premium UI and an overall premium user experience. Yes, there are better phones out there for more performance-based people like we spoke about. So if you want all your money to be spent on raw performance and you want to do gaming at a value for money budget range, then maybe this phone is not for you. But most of you out there, this is a pretty good option. And after Moto fixes a few things like the cameras as well as the update policy and the way they deliver updates on time, I think these phones will be much better, and they already are. Check them out from the links in the description below. This is Anubhav signing out. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys like the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, press on the bell icon, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.